In this world, every successful person you see has a story behind their success. A story filled with pain, sacrifice, and endless struggle. This is the story of John, a man who started with nothing. No money, no education, no family support. Yet he built a life people only dream about. But success didn't come easy. It came through sleepless nights, broken dreams, and a heart that refused to give up. If you've ever felt lost or hopeless, John's story will remind you. It's not over until you decide to stop trying. John lived in a small village called Greenhill. The roads were dusty, the houses were made of mud, and every child had only one dream: to escape poverty. John's father, Robert, worked as a daily laborer. He earned just enough to buy food for one day. John's mother, Sarah, would often skip her meals so her children could eat. Every morning, John would walk miles to school, barefoot, carrying a small torn bag. He loved studying, but often, hunger made it hard to focus. One day, his teacher, Mr. David, noticed him sitting quietly. He asked, "John, why are you not writing?" John smiled softly. "Sir, I don't have a pencil." That night, he carved a piece of charcoal from the firewood and used it to write on old paper. John's mother watched him and said, "John, we don't have much, but you have something special, your heart. Never let the world break it." But when John turned 17, life hit hard. His father fell sick and couldn't work anymore. John had to leave school to feed his family. He started working at a mechanic shop for just a few coins a day. He worked under the hot sun, his hands covered in grease and cuts. At night, when everyone else slept, he looked up at the stars and whispered, "One day, I'll change our life. I don't know how, but I will." John's best friend Tom worked at a small tea stall nearby. Tom often laughed at John's dreams. "John, stop dreaming," he said. "We are born poor and we'll die poor." "That's how life is," John replied. "Maybe, Tom, but what if we're wrong?" Tom smiled and shook his head. But John couldn't stop thinking about that what if. Every night after work, he saved a few coins. It took him months to save $50. One morning he told his mother, "Mom, I'm going to the city. I want to do something big." His mother's eyes filled with tears. "John, the world is cruel. But if you must go, promise me one thing: never forget who you are." John hugged her tightly and said, "I promise, Mom. One day I'll come back and give you the life you deserve." When John arrived in the city, it felt like another world: tall buildings, bright lights, people rushing everywhere. But for him, it was the beginning of another struggle. He found a small room in a crowded area, broken walls, no fan, and a leaking roof. He spent nights hungry because food was too expensive. He looked for work everywhere at shops, factories, restaurants, but no one wanted to hire a poor village boy. After a week of rejection, he found a small job at a restaurant as a cleaner. He cleaned tables, washed dishes, and slept on the floor at night. But every time he passed the rich part of the city, he would stop and stare at the big offices and shiny cars. He told himself, "One day I'll work there. Or maybe I'll own one." One night, as he sat alone, hungry and tired, he said, "God, if you're listening, I'm not asking for an easy life. Just give me a chance." That chance came the next morning. A kind old man named Mr. Parker used to visit the restaurant every morning. He noticed John's honesty and hard work. One day, Mr. Parker asked, "Son, why do you work so hard?" "You're just a cleaner." John replied, "Sir, I may be a cleaner today, but I'm learning. Someday, I'll do something big." Mr. Parker smiled and said, "Come to my shop tomorrow. I think I can use someone like you." John went the next day. Mr. Parker ran a small grocery store. He started teaching John how to manage sales, talk to customers, and handle money. John listened carefully and worked even harder. He stayed late to clean the store, studied product lists, and even helped customers with a smile. After 2 years, Mr. Parker said, "John, you remind me of myself when I was young. You're ready to stand on your own now." John couldn't believe it. He had learned how business works, and he had saved $500. With all his savings, John started his own small stall selling local snacks. The first few weeks went well. People liked his honesty and prices. But soon, a big shop opened nearby and took away his customers. Within months, John lost everything. He sat outside his empty stall one night and cried. He whispered, maybe Tom was right. Maybe poor people are not meant to dream. But deep inside, something pushed him. A small voice said, "Remember your mother's words. Never let the world break your heart." The next morning, he cleaned his stall and started again. He began selling online through social media. He learned about marketing from free YouTube videos and watched success stories every night. Slowly, his business started growing again. People began to notice his products. Orders increased. Within 2 years, John expanded his stall into a small shop, then another, and then a full company that sold across the country. He hired poor workers like himself, gave them fair salaries, and treated them with respect. When people asked how he did it, he simply said, "I never gave up." That's it. One day, John returned to his village. He bought a new house for his mother and built a school for poor children. Tom, his old friend, looked at him with tears and said, "You did it." "John, you really did it," John smiled. "We both did. Tom, you taught me what doubt feels like, and that made me stronger." John's story is not just about success, it's about faith. Faith in yourself when no one believes in you. Remember this: you don't need money to start. You don't need luck to win. All you need is the courage to keep going when everyone else gives up. Because sometimes, one small step in the dark can lead you into the brightest light. So, if you're watching this right now and you feel lost, remember John, and remember, you can fall 1,000 times, but you only fail when you stop getting back up. I hope like this story. Comment below and subscribe my channel. See you in the next video.